Big Drive Energy live here on a Wednesday, Wacky Wednesday. Mitchell played some golf today. We're going to get into that. We're going to do our new segment, Subway Series, Subway Stories. I was thinking of the Mets, Yankees. It's not baseball season yet. Not quite baseball season yet. We're going to talk about the Cognizant Classic coming up here. We've also got WTF Wednesday and the man that played the most golf in an entire year. This is an unreal story you'll want to hear and look up for yourself because I couldn't quite believe it when I saw it. And we'll give our takes on the amount of golf because I think that's more than I've played in my life. All that and more on Big Drive Energy coming right up. All right, let's tee it up. What's up, everybody? Big Drive Energy, Wacky Wednesday. I also forgot in the cold open that we're going to talk about Full Swing. That was kind of the whole fucking episode. So starting off hot here on a Wednesday. Before we get into any of the professional golf / other top golf topics or whatever tangent we get off on, I want to hear how your round of golf was today. Because I saw a few tweets, looked kind of cold. I didn't strike you as like a cold weather golfer kind of guy, but let's hear how it was. Where'd you play? How'd you play? Give me a shot by shot. I know you hate that, but I do not. I personally enjoy listening to that from a fellow stooge like you versus like a fucking member of the course who wants to tell me about his 45. Like I'm sure there's a lot less shots you got to talk about. So if you want to let them out, I'm all ears. Consider it
okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, generally speaking, I am not your typical cold weather golf guy. For the most part, the mood just kind of struck me. I was like, that kind of sounds like a good time. Every once in a while you're in the mood to get out and grind a little bit, throw the hoodie on. I actually had a long sleeve t-shirt on under my golf hoodie and I had joggers on. And it's actually not like golf joggers. They're just kind of like regular joggers, the no free ads, rowback joggers. Just because they're a little,
rowback, RHOBACK.
Polos, hoodies, Q-zips, promo code BDE. No, I wish we fucking had a promo code. Anywho, their joggers are a lot heavier. So it was almost like definitely not a golf pant, more of like a rain pant or definitely a little bit heavier. So I wore those. I wore a long sleeve t-shirt under a golf hoodie. It was definitely pretty casual. Wore my beanie. So it wasn't terribly cold. It was about between 45 and 50. The wind was coming and going, probably 10 to 15 miles an hour all day, maybe 20 at some points. The sun was coming and going. But it was just one of those where I didn't really have much to do this morning. Could have gone to the gym, could have sent some emails, and I was like, fuck, I just want to go play golf. Because it's fucking February. Like, why not? So we played this place called Neshannock Valley, which is about 30 minutes southwest of Morristown. Pretty cool spot, honestly, like kind of out in the country a little bit. There was some farms around it. A little bit higher elevation, like New Jersey continues to surprise me with some of this elevation. I really just thought the whole fucking place was flat, honestly. So anytime there's like a hill, I'm like, wow, look at this hill. This is an impressive hill here.
That's a nice boulder.
That's a nice boulder. But yeah, so our tee time was at 8:30. I had issues with that, but beggars can't be choosers. I would have gone the more 10:30, 10 o'clock route. So I show up at 8:15, ready to rock. My two stops, obviously the pro shop. Second one is always the bathroom. Got to have a little pre-round movement going. Can't go out there fucking clinching the cheeks together. That just never ends up going well for me.
Can't go out there at the Gopher Underground.
Correct. I don't need to be looking fucking Arizona style, looking for a shitter on the third hole, like panicking, running around, covering my ass. So anywho, I'll be relatively quick. I'll just throw the highlights out. So number one, it was one of those days where it was frosty in the morning. And then as the frost wore off, it got soft. So it kind of went firm to soft, almost like too soft. So there's kind of
like after you finish.
Correct. Yes. It went midnight to 6 quickly, like very, very soft. Had to really jam it in there. It was so soft. So number one, I've got like 130 in, a little downwind, and I hit gap wedge, and I hit a good shot. I looked right up into the fucking sun. I was like, oh, I can't see my ball. But I knew when it took off, it was good, relatively. Fucking lands, and you hear it land, trampoline over the back of the green. I was like, oh, very cool. That's how this is going to be. So that was very cool. I made bogey on one. Second hole, back into the wind, hit driver. I mean, it was playing long, and that's kind of the fun thing about the cold weather is you play it kind of similar to like a British Open, or at least I do in my mind, or an Open Championship, excuse me. But I don't even care what club I hit. I'm just trying to get it around. I'm just trying to get it around. You know, I'm not going for aesthetics. I'm not going for the high, I'm not trying to get cute. I'm just trying to get the ball in the hole. Because like the second hole was like a 360-yard par 4, and I had like 95 in, and it was into the wind. Not a terribly long. We played from like 6,200 yards, so pretty short, even at sea level. There we go. Fucking short circuiting. Had a couple beers at lunch after. I got the 2 beer sillies right now. I'm ready for a fucking napper. So then 2, I got a wedge in, hit it to like 10 feet, make that. So I make it right back, make some pars, basically all the rest pars on the front 9, threw out one. I'm sorry, I made 2 bogeys because I could not putt to save my life. They're very slow. It was one of those where the greens were like so dry that you couldn't get any traction. Like the ball was just kind of dancing all over the greens. You know what I mean? And you pick it up with them.
Yeah, I mean, like my ball kind of dances everywhere every time I fucking putt it. So
yeah, basically it's February. You can't take the putting too seriously, but I just physically could not get a putt to the hole. Every single putt I hit was fucking short, and for the most part, all the wedges, like the chip shots and everything, I was coming up short because once it softened up about towards the end of the front 9, you legitimately had to fly your pitch shots, your chip shots pretty close near the hole, depending on, and I hit like a lower chip shot, pitch shot around the greens.
Can I say something controversial real quick?
Yeah, let's hear it.
If your best round of golf in your life is in the winter time in a cold weather state, it doesn't really count. Straight up.
If you can't post your score because of the handicap restrictions, if it falls within that time, it doesn't count.
I don't know how many times I had to hear that story from members when I was already pissed off enough because I was there on a fucking February Tuesday and it was busy, annoying. And they're like, I just shot my best round ever. These ladies are hitting drives like 230 yards when their normal distance is 160. It's just not real. It's like you said, you go out there, you have fun. The fact that you can get out is great. I've been hankering to get out this week with how warm it is. And I drove past a golf course yesterday just on a way to a lunch meeting with our old good friend, Justin Serbo. Great lunch meeting. Got some stuff lined out for some tournaments this year. Really hyped about that. But where'd
you guys have lunch?
The South restaurant. It's really close to his. I went to his office. I went and saw JC Golf Accessories. I saw the whole warehouse, the whole bit.
Doesn't it feel like you're stuck in a time machine a little bit? Like,
yeah, it was
taking a step back into the 80s or the 90s.
Definitely. But I drove past Overland Park and just saw a million people out there and just said one quick prayer up for the fucking pro shop guys there. Fuck that.
Oh, Yeah, no, there was one chick, and let me get your take on this before I get into my back nine. There's one lady in the pro shop, and which was fine. I mean, it was busy. I could tell she was annoyed because there is 27 out there and then a short course. So there's a lot of golf out there. So she's checking in a shitload of people. But it was $65 to play today in February. Does that feel a little high?
It feels like a lot, but dude, with how much expensive everything other than children's haircuts apparently are nowadays, I feel like fucking that feels pretty fair with a motor cart, with a buggy. I don't know.
I didn't realize we were in Ireland now.
I wish I could speak like those people.
Hop in me motorcart.
Just hearing. Yeah, I mean, if you paid 65 in Arizona, you're given a reach around at the fucking turn for sure.
Yeah, 65 in Arizona is this time of year. I bet I could go play Talking Stick or Troon or some shit in July for that, which is kind of similar to like what we're doing out here right now. So, I mean, 65, I just relate it back to like, I guess my problem is I'm thinking of like 10 years ago and relating it to now, and it's just not the same. Where you could go play a winter round of golf for $30, maybe $40. That's thumbs down. That's poop. That is poo-poo. But yeah, just kind of the day and age we're in. I get it. Also another funny thing. So I get there at 8:15, hit the head, good 7-8 minutes in there. I go check in
and the tail.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a full exiting. There was nothing left behind there. But then I get in the pro shop and check in, and it's like 8:25. And I'm like, I just assumed we were on a frost delay. She's like, no, we're on time. I'm like, oh, cool. So we just need to go to the tee. So all things considered, like hit the ball pretty well. I think it's because I hit balls yesterday, hit balls the day before. I'm kind of in my grind era. I've been working on my putting here in the apartment, and I will say my putting feels better after just hitting putts for the last couple months in the apartment, just getting the visuals down, getting the comfortability with the grip, all that kind of stuff since I switched putters. But then, so we get to the back nine, par 10, par 11, and then 135-yard par 3, little downwind off the left. I hit pitching wedge to like 2 feet. Just literally never left the flag. Fucking, I thought for a second I might have a shot at an ace. So I knock in that birdie. Needless to say, I think I went pars out, or no, I made a bogey. So I think I shot even par on the back nine. I think I shot one over total. And all things considered, how I putted it, there was a few putts I obviously, like if my partner was in, I had like a 4-footer. I wasn't like grinding over it. So there was a few putts like that. So, but other than that, I would say I played relatively well. There's a few shots that I hit where I was like, yo, for the most part, I hit driver really well. But it's just, like you said, it's February and I don't take the conditions too seriously. I just wanted to go out and have a good time and, try to feel good about my swing and where I've been working on it and all that. So overall, I felt good about my ball striking, but the stuff around the greens is just not really real life when you are playing golf in February. So I am glad that I did it. It was fun. And then we went and had lunch. And dude, I'll tell you this. So there's this chain out here in New Jersey called Tommy's. It's called Tommy's Tavern. And it's similar to like, there's a few of these chains out here, and they put them in very like office, like corporate areas where it's basically like a spot where a bunch of corporate people just go to lunch. So these Tommy's, really low key, like you'd think they'd kind of suck like Chili's, and it's not cheap. Like it's $19 to $20 for an entree or whatever. But the food is so fucking good. I was like, let's go to Tommy's. I had a bowl of baked potato soup, not a bowl, but like not a cup either, like in between, a crock. I know that's like the gayest. Oh, I can't say that. That is
hit the dump button.
Dump it. That's the lamest thing to call something a crock. One of our Irish spots that we usually go to, they do French onion soup and they call it either a crock or a bowl, whatever. But I had this baked potato soup and it just blew me away. It was so fucking good. And then I had blackened shrimp wrap, absolutely phenomenal. A couple of Coors Lights, a couple of the Crispy Boys. And I just got back to the apartment. I was like, I just want to lay on the couch and do absolutely fucking nothing. So yeah, I think I might try to take a nap after this, but it was kind of the perfect nap time earlier. Now it's getting too late for a nap where if I wake up and it's dark out, I'm going to be in a blender. I can't do that. So I'm kind of past nap time, but overall fun day. I enjoyed it. I will go back to that golf course. It's similar to like, the kind of golf we grew up on, which surprisingly New Jersey has quite a bit of. Like you'd think you hear New Jersey golf and all you think is city golf, tight tree line spots. This place was like wide open, not a lot of trees, relatively wide berths to hit it in. So you would have enjoyed that. A few water hazards, tough greens. But overall, great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was one drive that I snap hooked where I was like, yo, this is not fucking happening right now. But then I found it. It was a par 5. And I just pissed down my leg on the par 5s today. It was just a really poor execution. I made 2 birdies, one on a par 3, one on a par 4, not a single birdie on a 5. And that was the most reachable 5. I hit it in the hazard left, hunted it down, wedged it out to like 215 into like a 15-mile-an-hour wind, hit hybrid like 10 yards short, wedged it up to like 15 feet, and then knocked in the 15-footer to actually win the hole. So it was kind of a grinded out type par, but I'm like, fuck me. Like, why was that par so hard? That just
you had a Sunday Aldrich Potgeider par.
Yes.
On the gettable par 5. Real quick, how is your distance work, your speed training? Oh my God. How is it working on the course? How is it
how is it translating
to the golf course? Did you feel like it is February, so you're not hitting it as far, or you're hitting it further than you normally would, but did you feel like you had some more oomph behind it? Did you feel like that was cracking a little bit?
I definitely feel like I'm able to get into somewhat of a different gear where I actually can feel like my shoulders turning away from the target even more, and probably my hips a little bit. And that's been one of the biggest things, is just making myself make a proper turn, because I think we all kind of grew up in the era where it's like have a quiet lower body, and nowadays that has been so debunked because it's bad for your back, it's bad for your move at the top. And I know Serbo's listening to this. I'm sure he can relate, because he's had the quiet lower body, not a lot of rotation in the lower body, and you just got to turn your hips back on the backswing. You got to turn your shoulders back away from the target. And, you can just look at me and tell I'm not the most flexible human being you're ever going to see. I'm not going to be getting on the fucking uneven bars anytime soon. But I have just been working on taking a more full turn on the way back. And so there's definitely an extra gear that I'm getting more comfortable with, but I really didn't let it fly on the golf course today. There was a few where I was not steering it, but just making more fairway finder swings, not completely unloading. But then there was a few tee shots that I hit where I did get after it. I could definitely tell I'm probably gaining about 5 to 10 yards right now, which will pay dividends in the long run, and I'm going to stick with it. But yeah, I did the speed training yesterday and the day before, and I woke up and my back was a little bit sore this morning. Not like a hurt, just like a sore, like a muscle sore. And I can kind of feel it. Migs on the uneven bars, quite the image. Yeah. Shout out Kai Kai. Is she on her lunch break? What is this?
I don't know. I think she may be done with school by this point later in the day.
I mean, it's 2:20. Is she called it a day? Kylie, drop us a comment. Let's see what's going on if your kids are singing in class.
Oh, it's Wednesday. They have early release. That's what's going down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, yeah, I listen.
Yeah, there you go. Husband of the year. Oh, happy anniversary, by the way, Spencer. Let's give a shout out to you and Kylie. 3 trips around the sun. Very happy for you guys. You guys are a very cute, sweet couple. I love you both. And how does it feel to be married for 3 years? Give us the rundown on being married, and your wife is listening, so choose wisely.
Being married is the most incredible thing I've ever done in my entire life. Back to front. They say the first 50 years is the hardest. So
okay, so only 47 to go.
Yeah.
So how old you? So you were 28 when you guys got married.
Yeah.
So you'll be 78 when it's 50. You'll still be around. I have a good feeling about that.
I hope so. 78 would be electric. I got to have my fucking Roth IRA kick in at some point. Like,
you just got to make it to where you can start pulling tax-free out of your Roth IRA.
Exactly. That's my
After
goal.
that, you're like, give me 5 years, I'll blow through this shit and then call it a day.
That's my life goal. Own a boat.
Just to make it to when I can use my retirement. That is funny. Well, I'm happy for you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. I don't want to get too mushy here, but I love you guys both. I'm coming back next week. All love. Going to Boston this weekend. Said it on the last pod. Saying it again. Fuck it. Going to Boston this weekend. Colorado next weekend. Should be a good time. I've been doing a lot of teaching too. I got to tell you this. This is funny. This one dude I gave a lesson to the other night. So we're at Golf Republic where I teach. There's 6 open bays and then 1 private room. And I usually use the private room. And it's not like totally closed in. There's walls, but the walls have like a 4-foot gap at the top.
Is this like a John Morant private room scenario?
No, there's not there is dollar bills exchange in there, but they usually come in the 20s or 100s for them, not the 1s and 5ers.
Real high level place.
Oh yeah, it is very top notch. BYOB even show full nipples. So I'm giving this dude a lesson and he like rips ass unintentionally. And he's like, oh dude, I'm sorry. Like, and I can relate because he's like my exact same body type, even a little thicker, older dude, just thicker than a Snicker. And and I'm like, I know those things are just ripe as fuck. He's just lighting off the gnarliest farts. And I funny enough, I was waiting for him because I had a lesson that ended a half hour before. So I was just hanging out on the sim, hitting a few balls, like looking at social media, whatever. And I was ripping ass in the room and getting it a little fucking hot and heavy in there. And then this dude walks in 5 minutes later, starts laying him down. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. And I was like, dude, don't sweat it. Like, you know, you want him to feel comfortable. And I was like, dude, I was ripping ass in here a half hour ago. You're fine. So then he just continues to let them fly the rest of the lesson, like not hiding it. He just paused, take a step back. And it was like, you know, when a little kid's like holding in their shits and you can tell. And I mean, I probably did it when I was little, where you're just standing there and like real stoic.
Oh, there's no probably about you doing it. You would stop us mid basketball game outside and just stop moving for like 3 minutes. And I was like,
I did not want to go inside and fucking use the restroom. I didn't want to hold up the basketball game. So yeah, I would just pause. Like I would go mime style. Just everybody stop. I'm gonna shit my pants.
Like a coach when everybody's having a shitty drill. There's pause. Stop where you are right there.
Stop.
Grab someone, moves them over. You're supposed to be over here.
Yeah, I've had bowel movement issues my entire life. It's just a on brand thing for me. But yeah, he just continued to fart, and there was a few where I wanted to say something because I was like, I could hear that, but he just didn't acknowledge it. And that is kind of the way. Like, do you just play a fart in public, like completely play it off like it never happened? Because like, is somebody really gonna say to you, "Did you fart?" Like, unless you say something, nobody's going to be like, you farted, dude. So I think next time I'm just going to like rip blatant ass and just absolutely pretend like nothing happened. I think that is kind of a solid plan for me going forward.
Well, I have 2 plans of attack. If I'm like, I don't have my son to blame it on, I'm definitely just ripping it and leaving it. But if I have him, I'm like, dude, did you shit your pants? Like, that's what I immediately.
You rip ass and then you pick your son up and smell his ass. And your wife is just rolling her eyes, sitting on the couch, looking next to you as you're fucking tearing the couch in half.
As I'm fucking setting a hole in the top of the couch. Blazing a trail to the floor.
Oh my God. Oh.
But no, yeah, having a kid's great for that reason. You can just blame everything on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I we have a stuffed animal named Bruce now that I got Missy for Valentine's Day. And every time I rip ass, I look at Bruce. I'm like, bro, you need to chill. Obviously, it doesn't really work. But even like a dog, you know, before that, you blame the farts on Joker. And obviously, as everybody knows, dog farts are the most rancid fucking thing in the entire world. So you could light the most putrid farts, and then your wife would actually believe that it was the dog.
Yeah, I mean, mine can be comparably rancid.
If you've had any of the dairy.
I've had any of the dairies, the sushis and sashimis.
Oh, speaking of which, there's a new Shoresy season out that I need to watch. For any of those of you out there that haven't watched Letterkenny or Shoresy, gotta watch that shit. It's all time. But yeah, I might tap into that after this, and it's just gonna be a real chill afternoon. Fucking might do a little snoozer on the couch. So,
well, let's hop into another TV show. This one relating to golf, and that is Netflix's Full Swing Season 3, Episode 1. What did you think? I honestly, like, to me, they just do such a good job. Like, knowing and watching as much golf as we do, it definitely waters it down a little bit. But like, I was watching it I'm kind of off the Severance train once I realized, like, I'm still going to watch the end of it. But once I realized there's an ending to it, I got scared to keep watching it. Does that make any sense? Like, I thought for some reason I'm pretty aloof about the situation, apparently, which isn't like me, but I was watching it, and then I think I was talking to Kylie, and she was like, yeah, you know, there's only like 3 episodes, or we're almost caught up. And I was like, what are you talking about, caught up? And people have said, have you caught up yet? Like, I've heard this, and I just kind of, you know, sloughed it off. I thought it was like a Suits scenario where I had like 8 seasons of 8 or 10 episodes, and we were just going to party through this for the next 6 months while every night that there's not Colorado sports on. And apparently, once I figured out that there's only like 2 or 3 recorded episodes left, and then we have to wait every week for it to come out, I got a little bit off of the train. So I decided, hey, Full Swing's on, let's watch it. And she was like, I'm going to work. And I was like, okay, well, I'll watch it then, and you can just work. And like 2 minutes in, she's, you know, doing the peek up at the TV, and she's like, oh, this is really good. Like, this is really cool. And then she just stopped working and started watching it. So that was kind of a real life explanation right there to me, that she, you know, she watches a lot of the golf, not near as intently as I do, of course, but it's on the TV from Thursday through Sunday. So she's in the presence of it, but you can tell it's something that definitely gets people's attention that aren't that into golf. And we talked about it in season 1, season 2. But now season 3 is back out, and people are continually watching it, and they've gotten some more famous stars, and they've also piggybacked off of the stars that were made, essentially the Joel Damons that were created from the seasons of Full Swing, the first couple seasons, where people were like, I don't really know who this guy is. Of course, you hear about the Scotty Schefflers, and people know about the Rorys, but highlighting guys like Neal Shipley and Ludvig Åberg, who is the next future superstar of the PGA Tour in professional golf. I thought it was a good episode. And Neal Shipley's your typical college kid, dude. And going through that story of him making double on the last hole on Saturday at the Masters to end up being paired with Tiger Woods. And he remembers like the 06 US Open where he was trying to high five Tiger Woods, and he was so locked in, he didn't see him. That's the shit that's just like, it's almost, I'm not saying it's individual to golf, like other sports that could potentially happen where you're asking for an autograph and then you end up playing with someone. But I think it's so much more real and so much more intense in golf, because it's just one guy and you're a fan of one guy. And then you end up getting to spend 18 holes with him, not only 18 holes, but 18 holes at Augusta National on a Sunday with Tiger Woods. Like, unreal life experience, one of one experience for him.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, we don't know. I mean, Tiger's obviously going to try to play the Masters every year, depending on how healthy he is. But like Neal said, he's like, this is probably going to be the last time, only opportunity I ever get to play with Tiger Woods. So it's like, you kind of know it's done, but you also have that round for the rest of your life. You can tell your grandkids about that. just shit that you can tell that story forever. But yes, to your point, going back to your wife, like stop working, start watching it. I turned it on in bed last night because you texted us right as Missy and I were going to bed. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll watch one episode in bed. And I turn it on and I look over and Missy's got her glasses on watching. And she never puts her fucking glasses on. She really, when she doesn't care, like she'll watch something, but she can't really see it. When she's got her glasses on, you know, there's intent to watch. And I even said, I was like, oh, you got your glasses on. She's like, yeah, I like this shit. This is good. So yeah, I can definitely tell. And obviously we're indoctrinating our significant others with our golf love. So they're kind of getting it through osmosis. But now they're getting into golf is kind of being introduced through the golf at first, but then the storylines and the people. And now they're getting more personally invested in these people because of the show like Full Swing. But it was funny too, because Missy goes, why have I never seen Neal Shipley anywhere else? And it kind of goes back to like the controversy of he was low amateur at the Masters, played well in all these big events. He plays well in his like lone PGA Tour start or whatever. He had a few of them, plays well, but then he doesn't get through Q school, and everybody was pulling for Shipley to get his card. And yet he still doesn't have his card. He's on the Latin American tour or wherever. Maybe he's on Corn Ferry now, but either way, it's just like, it's so crazy because a guy like Neal Shipley kind of took the world by storm and you want more of him. But the problem is like golf is so score based that if he does not make it on tour, there's nobody's going to, you know, maybe they can throw him some exemptions and stuff, but he still has to play well. So it's one of those where he's such a good character and would be a great like rooting interest for a lot of like younger kids in golf. But there you got to shoot the numbers to get out there. So that is kind of the tough thing, but the Shipley storyline was great. A couple things from that Masters, I could not remember, like I was shocked. I did not remember how windy it was those first two rounds, but then it came back to me where I saw the sand flying out of the bunkers. I'm like, holy shit, that was insane.
Yeah, that triggered some memory for me. And the other thing that I couldn't remember as clearly because it felt like such a blowout is how close that was going into Sunday. Now, Scotty Scheffler, of course, the best player in the world, is nails and ran away from the entire field, and a good field at that.
The other name at the top of the leaderboard was the more shocking one, especially how far he is removed from fucking good golf, is Max Homa. When I saw him in third place in the Masters, I'm like, what? Because it just feels like he's so lost right now. And I think he'll get back to it. He's going through swing changes and equipment change and all that. But it's so funny to me with the PGA Tour how a guy can have a great year 1 year ago or God forbid 2 years ago. But if he's not playing good right now, it's not in the front of your mind. You know, the PGA Tour is the ultimate show up every single week and play well. Otherwise, you're going to get fucking forgot about. Like even NBA teams, MLB teams, you go through bad stretches, but it feels like on the PGA Tour, a guy has a month-long stretch where he's bad. People just kind of forget he exists. You know, it's like a what have you done for me lately kind of thing. So I definitely noticed that too as I was watching.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that close. And it was cool for Neal Shipley to make the cut because I was thinking about this. What if you were the low am and you didn't make the cut? So you like sit around Augusta Saturday and Sunday because then you get the trophy presentation and get to be with the Masters champion and in Butler Cabin at the end where he did the famous crazy eyes. I was hoping that they would have something of that nature in there.
How did they not ask him about the crazy eyes?
Yeah, I don't know how him becoming a meme essentially wasn't part of the storyline. But going to his house at Ohio State and seeing how he lives just like a normal college kid, and the story when he was talking about his team partner in a group project, seeing him on TV and doing the like Leonardo DiCaprio, like, why isn't this guy working on our team project? Oh, he's playing in the fucking Masters. I don't even pay attention to golf. And that's my boy.
Yeah.
Big Neal in my Chem 2200.
Yeah, he is such a goofy looking dude. And honestly, like with the long hair, I'm like, bro, you look kind of like a butch chick a little bit. But it kind of just adds to the allure of him. Like he kind of looks like a throwback. Like it looks like he could be in Caddyshack. Like
Did you
his
see
character.
the nicknames? The nicknames, the first team all kitchen had me rolling, dude.
That I know that should be my fucking nickname. Holy shit. Yeah, he definitely. And do you know what's weird about Neal too? Is like you look at him and he's not even like that thick, but his face just makes it. I feel like he's got like the more round face that makes him look like he should be bigger than he is. You know, like there was multiple side shots I saw of him. I'm like, he's pretty fucking thin. Like he's not that big of a dude, but he just looks like he should be bigger.
Well, I'm sure the hair actually doesn't do him any favors either. I'm sure the hair makes him look just generally bigger than he is.
Well, and that's how you can tell he's a college kid too, because everybody when they're younger, or I guess Spencer, if he's going through a quarter life crisis, like likes the long hair. And then as you get older, you're like, I don't want to fucking deal with that. Like combing that, drying it, it's just such a pain in the ass. So you can just tell he's young enough to where he's like, yeah, dude, this flow looks sick. Like I could see him in like a throwback Cleveland Cavaliers jersey at a darty at OSU. Like he's the fucking man. But that's the other unfortunate thing. Like think about this, and it depends on the school you're at. But like you go to a school like Ohio State, and we talked to Josh Seipel about this, who played at Ole Miss. But there's certain schools where even if you're a very good golfer in a very good program, a lot of times you're not like the big man on campus. That's just really not who you are. So like you go to Ohio State, all the football players are out, Neal Shipley's out. And in his world, like if you're a golfer, you're like, holy fuck, this kid played in the Masters, finished runner up at the USAM. Like this dude is legit. And he's just like anybody else on campus because not that many people know golf, you know? And I think it is getting more and
more popular. And, you know, like a guy like Neal being, I mean, I just can't fathom like being a college kid and playing in the Masters and then being low AM and sitting next to Scott. Like he on the next Tuesday or Wednesday, he's sitting in that dirty ass room of his. And on Sunday afternoon, he was sitting in a cabin with like the most exclusive cabin maybe in the United States of America with Scott, the best golfer in the entire planet, and Scotty Scheffler. Another storyline is just Ludvig Åberg in general. And it was a good kind of test because Kylie, same thing. She kind of knows some of these golfers. And when they were like showing him making his Nespresso and just talking, I was like, do you know who that is? And she's like, no, I have no clue. And so that is a guy that in 10 years, he'll probably be on the level of a Rory, where he's European, he's from a different country. Like he's a good looking dude. He's
okay. I was going to ask you about this. You think he's a good looking dude?
Well, okay, maybe this is the height scenario. I'm not that into dudes and their look, but I just thought about that because when you asked me that question, I took it to heart. When you ask me something, I think about it. And I thought, is he actually a good looking dude? And like, if he was Brian Harmon's size, would he be a good looking guy? And the answer to me is probably not, right? If you put that head on Brian Harmon's body, you're like, yeah. But the fact that he's like 6'4" and pretty svelte dude and always wears black Adidas stuff, I think maybe that adds to the allure of it. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I just say he's a good looking dude because everybody else says it, and Dylan Death Ears glazing him to the fucking moon about being made in a Swedish factory. I'm like, dude, you want to fucking get in on that factory? Like, what's your story here?
You getting in on that butter churning factory over there, Chief? You ready to go skiing with fucking Ludvig over here? Dude, yes. By the way, Rappaport and those dudes, they just absolutely live. Like Rappaport pretends like he is like fucking commentating Tyson versus Ollie, or it just, you can tell it's just so much show involved. I'm like, dude, just talk normal. Talk like a fucking normal human being. You don't need to act like you're playing this up and you're all this inflection in your voice. And oh my God. And these guys just are so stoked to be at the Masters. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. And I did see a lot of Dan Rappaport hate on Twitter, which I did appreciate a little bit because there's definitely, I don't know, Full Swing, for as great as it is, they do a lot of like mansplaining of golf. And a lot of it is just kind of, and don't get me wrong, I do like the instructional, like introducing new people, but how many people do you really think are watching the show that have never watched golf before? Like, I think anybody that's watching this show is pretty invested in the game and like wants to see behind the curtain of these guys' lives and shit like that. I don't see a lot of people being like, I hate golf, but let me watch this TV show about golf. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
I think you are wrong. And generally, I like to agree with you, but I think you're wrong here. I think much like the Drive to Survive, I haven't watched it personally, so I can't comment on whether or not it's good. But I think a lot of people could give fuck all about F1, and that going behind the curtain of athletes' lives is something that's unprecedented in terms of how good they're making documentaries now. Like, documentaries have been a thing forever, but I think these guys are so famous now just in the general scope of celebrities that getting to see what they're like at home or what their, like is life is like off of the court or the course in this case is such an interesting thing that nobody has to care about golf in order to like the show. I personally think maybe it made people watch certain tournaments and tournaments like the Masters, US Open, which this focuses a lot on the majors, which I think is kind of a downfall of it because people are watching that in general. But it also may be playing to the fact that so many people do watch the majors. They might have some relatable things when they say, oh, I remember when that happened at X major and this was a guy that was involved in it. And now I'm seeing his life. I don't know. But I personally think they did a really good job of going behind the curtain for certain players like a Neal Shipley that were popular in the moment, but have kind of fallen off since then and are not he's obviously not playing on the PGA Tour every week, not playing that well. So not playing, you know what I mean? He's not playing on the PGA Tour and winning tournaments and winning himself.
He's not in your face every week.
Yes, exactly. So I think they do a good job of that, but no, I really do think this is a show for people that aren't that into golf.
Okay. I mean, to teach their own.
And I'm not a show director. I'm not a Netflix guy, but they did a good job of that in season 1. I think if you've watched season 1 and 2, now it's a little overplayed. If you're a golfer and watch golf, it's been overplayed since the start. But if the show's not made for those people, even now it's a little bit over the top of how much they mansplain things.
Yeah.
You've watched a couple seasons.
Yeah, I would agree. I just had a thought. Oh, this is not good. It was literally sitting on top of my head. Oh yes, this is what it was. Their intro, like their teaser, their trailer that they released, they make it seem so intense. Like, and the funny part is like, so obviously this is after Drive to Survive. Drive to Survive kind of led the way to this. And isn't there one other show that they did similar to this with a different sport?
Road to Gold with the USA Olympic team, which I actually ironically watched the first episode of that after the first episode of Full Swing.
Okay.
Because I'm parsing out this Full Swing scenario. Like, I'm maybe not once a week, but I'm not going to binge watch it. I can't do that.
I think we do once a week. Or we at least talk about one episode a week. So you can watch it, but then you got to watch it again. So we can just content farm out of this. But they just made the intro and the trailer seem so intense. And like Drive to Survive is intense. It's F1. These dudes are going 300 miles an hour. It's life or death out there. Potentially, your fucking life is in danger. They make golf seem like it's some action sport. And it's like dudes just walking around the field hitting a ball. Like, I think it is kind of funny because they make, and obviously that's their job, to make it seem intense and seem like this is all like so high stakes. And it is high stakes. It's a lot of money, but it's literally just dudes walking around hitting golf balls. It's just funny to me knowing, what golf is. And I think everybody kind of knows what golf is. And that is the fundamental difference, I would say, between like F1 and the PGA Tour and Full Swing and Drive to Survive. Is car racing is kind of something that a lot of people have been into since cars have been around. That's just a pretty standard thing that similar to fighting, like fighting, racing things. That's just like a primal thing. That's just very like humans are kind of drawn to it no matter what. Like I want to see things go fast and I want to see people beat the shit out of each other. But golf does not have that inherent feeling where people just are naturally attracted to it. Does that make sense?
100%. You're speaking the truth.
Okay. I appreciate that. I felt like I was onto something there. But no, they do a great job. The production is very good. I wish honestly it would come out sooner because they're doing the Masters episode and the Masters is like 6 weeks from now. So I just wish they could get stuff out quicker. I know it takes a lot of production and a lot of time and all that, but I would like to see it get out maybe in the fall into the winter. I know they're kind of probably doing it too as sports are, slowing down for the year, I guess, football anymore. It's just basketball and hockey, and we're kind of in the dog days of winter there. So maybe they were doing it to give a little pop before the Masters, but I just wish I could watch it while stuff was fresher in my brain of what actually transpired at the event.
Yeah, it does make you recall kind of what happened at the event, but also it's far enough away where you don't remember that happening, which can go twofold. It can be exciting that you're rewatching something that you were very dialed in on, but just 8 months removed from, 9 months removed from, and now I guess almost 11 months at this point.
Did you pick up on how awkward the exchange was between Ludvig and his girlfriend?
Oh, in the car?
Not in the car, when they were like, he was sitting in the chair in the bedroom and she was sitting on the bed. It just felt very, very staged. Like they really said nothing. I do like that Ludvig kind of said that he was going to embrace the nervousness of being in his first major and all that. But other than that, it was just kind of a big nothing burger of a conversation. And they're just sitting across from each other like she's his therapist. It was just kind of a weird, I'm like, this feels very like forced, where the producer goes, you sit over here, and you guys have this conversation, where it did not feel like very natural at all to me.
Yeah, I actually, even though I watched it less than 14 hours ago, don't remember that.
Okay, real quick before we move on, last question. How many futures do you think were taken on Ludvig Åberg to win a major after that episode last night?
Well, it was me. I was one.
Okay. Throw one on the tally.
Yeah, add one to it. I know 100% of my house, or 50% of the adults in my house who are doing it. So
Kylie might be over there logging in, fucking getting her dialed for futures too.
yeah,
Honestly, we'll get into betting after, but I have my pick this week is soured quickly.
Oh no, that's not good. Let's move on real quick just to touch on this topic. So this has kind of made its way around golf Twitter and golf Instagram the last couple of days. So in 2020, this is from Zyre Golf, but I'm not sure who originally posted this. 61-year-old Barry Gibbons of Austin, Texas, set the record for most golf played in a year, completing 1,235 rounds of golf. At 61, Gibbons, a former vice president of sales for IBM, completed 1,000. Jesus Christ, I can't even fucking read. Dude, sometimes I'll be reading my son's books and I'm like fucking words up in this most simple books. I don't know what it is.
Are you smarter than your 18-month-old? No.
The answer is no. Completed 1,235 18-hole rounds of golf, unofficially the most ever played by anyone in a single year. Averaging 3.5 rounds per day, he walked and carried his clubs throughout the journey, playing all but 3 days in 2020, including 2 in the last week of the year. Typically on the course from 7 a.m. until dark, he often skipped meals. In total, he played over 22,000 holes and walked 8,377 miles, equivalent to almost 320 marathons or 3 cross-country trips from New York to Los Angeles. His quote, "A lot of people just think I'm crazy. They say, well, you must not be married," he says with a chuckle. You can imagine the range of questions go on and on, but once people in my community understand, they kind of like adopted me. Every time they saw me, it was, where are you now? How's it going? How do you feel? All the interest and support was pretty fulfilling, satisfying, and motivational. I mean, 1,200 rounds in a year seems, it's obviously insane. For averaging 3.5 a day. If I play 3 rounds of golf in 4 days, that's my plate is full there. My cup runneth over at 3.5 rounds in 4 days. Like, I can't imagine doing that every day for a year. And there's golf sickos out there that the sicko level extends so far down below the bottom of this earth that I can't even wrap my mind around it, because I love golf and I love playing golf. And I don't know if I didn't have to worry about a job, and maybe when I was retired, around a day even seems like a hefty proposition to me. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
What say you?
What say you, young Padawan?
I'm so fucking out on this. Like, this guy, did it say if he has a family? Like, everybody must hate him. He must not be liked by anybody that shares blood relation, because this dude is just always be golfing. I will say that it was during 2020, so perfect time to do it. You know, getting too close to your wife could kill you. Anything could kill you at that point. So he's just out in the fresh air. He's like, I'm gonna really just soak this up. It's always some retired rich asshole that just has more money than God. Although IBM stock is, you know, it's better days are behind him, but I'm sure he's still doing very well for himself. I don't know. I can tell you this: if I worked at his country club, I would kill the guy. I might quit my job if I had to see him sun up to sundown every day. I'd be like, I think this is it for me. I think I need to go find a different line of work, because this is just not working out. So, yeah, I'm sure everybody at his country club was like, please get the fuck out of here.
Well, I'm sure he played some different places, because it sounds like when his friends were asking him, like, where's he at, or what's he asking, like, where's he at in terms of number of rounds. But overall, I got to imagine he was playing some different golf courses too, not just the same one every single day.
But think about it like this, bro. How many golf courses, I guess, unless you book multiple tee times at different courses, but you're not going to go to one course and get 3 tee times, because that's legitimately how he was playing 54 holes a day, if, you know, 36 at the very least. And so what, like, it's got to be his own country club where he just pops in. He's like, they're an opening. Can I go again? He's not driving all over Kingdom Come like, oh yeah, I made an 8 o'clock here and then a 2 o'clock here and then a 6 o'clock over here. You know, it's
well, yeah, he's probably playing the same course the whole day, or maybe 2 to 3 days in a row. But I'm sure he was playing some different places. Speaking of 54 holes in a day, we're getting the itinerary for a bachelor party I'm going to in Mesquite, Nevada, and it's 36 Saturday and 18 Sunday, and I'm already terrified. Like, I'm already like, yep, I'm gonna not want to touch a club for at least a week after that weekend.
Oh yeah, when is that one again?
Mid-May.
Okay, so it's gonna be pretty toasty out there. You're gonna be dying.
Doesn't bother me.
You better,
like, I'm in a wedding in May, and it's all black, and I'm like, it doesn't suck for me. It's gonna suck for some people that are on the bigger side that are sweating through their fucking suit, and you can see sweat stains. I'll be cooling. I'm fine. Heat doesn't bother me. It really has to be extremely hot, or I have to be in a stuffy place where heat will bother me. But overall, heat can bring it on. I'm not too worried about it. Let's transition to the heat of Florida this week and the Cognizant Classic at the Palm Beaches. Annoying ass name. Wish they would just call it the Honda Classic again. But the Bear Trap PGA National. I saw some reports Luke Clanton's played here 40 times and feels really comfortable here. He has a chance to earn his full-time status tour card this week, I believe, with just a made cut. Maybe it has to be a little higher, but let's do a little preview and talk about the Cognizant Classic. This is where you can finally release your picks. Let's just put the picks up on. If you're watching on the YouTube, first of all, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this, yes, I'm talking to you. Anyone out there watching this, just go down, click that thumb, either with your phone, your TV, wherever you're watching us. Hopefully you don't have to see our mugs on a giant TV. Computer or phone does just well. But give us a thumbs up on that bad boy. But I'll pull up our picks here for this week, and you're really sweet on this guy. You're Irving B to a Bert G on Daniel Berger this week. So
that was a very good analogy there. Yes, I am all in on Daniel Berger. I am cuckoo for burger puffs here. I am my whole wad is going into Daniel Berger.
Double burger, extra cheese.
Yes, I want an animal style all over my face, please. Give it to me, Danny. No, for real. I mean, and the reason I said I was souring on this man is because literally everybody and their grandmother is on him. Like, I think the big sports books might shut down if he fucking wins this event because everybody is on him. And I will say he is playing damn good golf as of recent. He is a Florida dude. He is as Florida gets. A recent quote from Danny Berger's: I think I'm playing better golf now than when I was in the top 20 in the world. Solo 12th and then T2 in his last 2 starts. And he is 4th in strokes gained tee to green this season on the entire PGA Tour. So he's hitting the ball as well as he's ever hit it. Hopefully he can knock in some putts, but I am all in on Danny Berger's. And then everybody in the replies, everyone's like, what can go wrong this week? And everybody on Twitter that calls themselves a fucking golf handicapper is picking Daniel Berger. So it's kind of one of those, public hold on to your nuts, probably not going to go well for me type of deal. But I will ride. I ride on. Let's just put it this way. I made about 250 beans on Isaiah Salinda. Shout out our boy Willie M. So I made about 250 beans on that, and Aldrich absolutely giving it to me right in my balloon knot. And I have turned that 250 all into Daniel Berger this week. I am letting go and letting Berger get the work done. I am handing Daniel Berger the wheel. And if he doesn't hit, I'm taking another step back from the table.
I considered putting the same graphic up, but due to like an ungodly bad beat, he's taking it. And then I was going to put Berger at the very bottom in like little letters. I should have done that, but as I started to get into it, I just decided to throw him up there. My picks for this week are, I feel like chalk as chalk gets. And as I can say I do all this research, I don't. There's like 2 or 3 things I look at. Sepp Straka, it has all 3 for me this week. He's playing well. He's already won this year. He's already won at this golf course. And I guess just 2 things: horse for a course and playing well. There you go. I don't know what else to say. He's plus 2,500. Makes me feel better that everybody's on Danny Berger's because now I can be on Sepp. And he's won once this year already. Like I said, he's had a T2 or T3 where he almost won another event. Maybe playing some of the best golf on the tour right now. And then you talked about Florida as Florida gets. I'm going with a Florida Gator, top 10, Billy Horschel. He's playing some decent golf, playing in the TGL. I like him way more from watching his one introduction in the TGL. Seems a lot more fun than he does on the golf course with his fucking jolting all the time when he's putting, trying to give me a stroke here, doing the fucking Dennis Farrell move. But he's 450 plus 450 to top 10. And I feel like he's either won here or played really well here. This is a bloodbath of a week.
You're like, don't check me on that, but I feel like you're just going. Are you going strictly off feels here? Like I feel like
he's from Florida. I'm pretty sure he's played really well at the Honda Classic at least once or twice. Shane Lowry, I think I picked him last year, and then he was in a thing with like a playoff with David Skins, or he was leading. He was in the final group with David Skins on Sunday. And then Austin Eckroat shoots like 64 and wins the event. This is a more fun one because the scores are a little bit lower. We'll probably see the winner in the 12 under to 15, 16 under range, depending upon how tough it's playing the Bear Trap. It's a really good golf course. I think the name of this tournament, unfortunately, brings the level of excitement down just because it doesn't sound like it's not a signature event, but doesn't sound like a big event. But it's a really good golf course, really tough golf course. And the Florida swing is just not a lot of people's favorite. So I'm going to go with my boy, Billy Horschel, plus 450 to top 10. And then as you talked about, Salinda, he earned his way into this tournament with his performance last week, the T3 or the solo 3, and then also earned his what was Will telling me? He earned his way into the next signature event too. So earned his way in with that play at the
the Players.
No,
No, it's
not the
Arnold
Players.
Palmer.
The Arnold Palmer, yeah, at Bay Hill. So he's in that as well. Isaiah Slinda riding him at plus 12,000.
Ride the hot horse, dude. Fucking A. Yeah. I mean, why not? That's worth a sprinkle. So Billy Horschel's played the Honda Classic, formerly known, now the Cognizant Classic. Played it 13 times. He has 3 top 10s.
Oh, good. Fucking.
There
is a Florida tournament that he owns, and maybe not be this one, but same state. Fuck it. Potato.
I think he's played well at the Arnold Palmer, and I could also be wrong about that. I don't think it's the Valspar.
Oh, maybe it's the Valspar.
Is it the Valspar?
Yeah. Look up his history at the Valspar. I bet that's actually the one. So kudos to me, but still, fuck it, taking it for 450. You know, I was talking to one of the guys I work with the other day about golf betting, and in general, it's just kind of annoying because
is it John Riskin?
Yeah, I was talking to Risky, but golf betting is kind of annoying because me looking at something that's a 4-day bet at plus 450 seems like shit odds, or even plus 200. If you have a guy to top 10, it's plus 200 and you win it, you just feel like it's a nothing burger because of the odds in golf. And really, if you hit a bet plus 200 at any point, that's fucking massive. You know, like if I were just to take some plus 200 underdog on the money line tonight in the NBA or NHL, I'd feel like that was a huge win. But if I take somebody to top 10 at plus 200 over a 4-day tournament, I'm like, sick win. Let's just move on to the next one. So maybe I just need to throw some more shekels at it, some more beans out there and feel better.
It is your anniversary. Shackles might be coming out tonight.
Oh God. Okay. Did you look up that?
Yes. He finished 12th place at the Valspar last year. I don't, and not a whole lot, but what was pretty funny, on the Google search after Billy Horschel Valspar finishes, you know where that tab pops up where it says people also ask this?
Yeah.
The top one is Billy Horschel's wife still sober. Was literally the top fucking topic. And I clicked down on it. Of course, little drill down menu here. I was like, yes, I need to see this. Brittany has been sober for more than 8 years and runs a website called The Sober Modern Mom. Of course, she couldn't just get sober and not make a fucking website about it, not make a whole blog. I bet she's got a podcast. Anybody could have a podcast nowadays, make podcast equipment more expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, why not just make a website out of it? Why not make it your whole personality? I bet I'm like, hey, Brittany, the sky's blue today. She's like, yeah, sober 8 years.
Yeah. Did you know?
I'm not mocking sobriety, by the way.
Did you know blue on the color scale is 340,000, which is exactly how many hours I've been sober since. Incredible. All right, let's get to a new segment here. This is a fun one. This is called you for the shackles comment, by the way. I think that's what that related to.
Kylie dropping the eyes.
Yeah. I might not make the pod on Monday.
Spencer's gonna have an apple fucking stuck in his mouth.
Stop that. Okay. New segment, Subway Stories. I have to get this. I have to workshop this and get a little better. But here on the YouTube, I have to make it a different size. Not quite the full screen.
What an AI setup there. That was fucking. I mean, that is a dope graphic. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Lie. So this is gonna retail. I'm gonna be recalling my stories from going to the Subway on Colfax here in Denver. If you've ever been, congratulations, you've made it through. But it's kind of a bit now, and I'm kind of a Subway guy, and I stand Subway, and I will always do it. I think I've told a couple of the first stories on the pod. One, I had a lady giving me a translator. I had to translate into her phone what I was trying to order. Another time, what happened the other time? I feel like I talked about this on the pod.
Real quick, while you're hatching that story, I have an idea that I think could be huge. We should just start an Instagram page ranking Subways. We should just try to hit every Subway in every different city we're at and see how fucking ghetto it is. Like,
I don't think I think the one here by my work is going to be about as bottom of the barrel as it gets. Nonetheless,
we could legitimately do like a big Justice and the Rizzler situation with Subway. You could end up being the next Jared from fucking Subway without the pornography.
Yes, without the child porn, I'll just lose
Don't
weight off.
Say that out loud. You're gonna get us fucking canceled.
I'll lose weight off my jeans by eating fresh every single day. But I am standing Subway. I don't eat it every day, but at least once a week. And the funny thing about it for me is the more people at my work hate on me every time I walk in with this brown bag of Subway from walking to lunch by myself, the more hate I get, the more I want to go there. And now every single time I go there, something new happens. So I felt like let's make it a fucking segment on the podcast and talk about it. And now I'm like looking forward to going there more because I'm thrilled about this new segment and seeing what new dirt I can dig up for this part of the pod. So the last time I go there, I order my cold cut combo, which I did change my order the other day and ordered a meatball, which is meatball Subway was probably the first ever fast food, quote unquote, I ever had. Because that's all we had growing up was 3 Subways in like a 2-mile radius. And meatball was the GOAT at all times. But now I'm a cold cut combo guy. So I order a cold cut combo, get it on flatbread, which is generally my go-to. And the guy just straight up doesn't make it a cold cut combo. He puts like salami on it. I think he thought I meant Italian. And then he's talking to me about his life. And he's saying how he was late to work and the bread's not good because somebody no-showed and they fired him. And I respect it. I do understand when somebody no-calls, no-shows, doesn't make working tough. But yeah, he just straight up didn't make me a cold cut. And from my understanding from ordering about 400 of these in my lifetime, is it's the easiest sandwich in the world to make. I also get no cheese on it, but it's a fucking bag.
They took those away, bro. They changed Subway. They now have to piece out the bologna, the fucking all the cold cuts. It's no longer the pre-folded cold cut combo.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're taking away everything we love. Thanks, Trump.
Yeah. So the cold cut combo, he made me a fucking Italian. It was fine. It tasted fine. I got the same condiments on it just because I like to stay in my lane of condiments. But yeah, he just made a completely different sandwich. So that was the third reconnaissance of Subway stories, which will now become a regular thing on either Monday or a Wednesday pod whenever I decide to bust it out. Let's finish up this episode with a WTF What the Fuck Wednesday. Do you want to start us off or do you want me to start us off?
Yeah, I got a pretty good one. So I was driving down the highway yesterday, just minding my own business, probably cruising a little faster than I should, going probably about 80 and a 65, keeping up with traffic. You know, I'm in the left lane. No idea where this comes from. And I haven't even told you this. I know we talk all the time. This chunk of wood, like about a foot by a foot, like a legit big piece of wood, comes out of nowhere, hits me right in the fucking windshield, cracks my entire windshield. What?
A log?
Dude,
it looked, this is like
it was like a chunk of plywood like this. And I legitimately, it was coming straight for me. Like for me personally.
It's like some Final Destination shit.
Dude, oh my God. Now that you're saying that, it 100% was, because I had the presence of mind to like personally react. I didn't rip the wheel over, thank God, but I fucking ducked. And I'm not shitting you. I'll send you the picture. Obviously, this isn't great because anybody watching can't see it. But it legitimately, you know where your rear view mirror is plugged in or on your
into your car.
Yeah, it's right there. It is 2 inches exactly, 100% in line with right above my windshield. And right when I hit it, I just see the cracks fucking shoot out. Like, and it is a legit chunk out of my windshield. It's not like there's no fucking fixing this little thing. This is like a legit. And I was just immediately pissed. I'm like, this is just the worst fucking luck for no reason. It truly is just bad luck. 5 seconds earlier or later, and I'm fucking home free. Chunk of wood. And I'm honestly like, I'm glad I didn't die. I could have fucking died.
Yeah, that could have been way worse.
We could have done our last podcast last week. But here we are. I'm still kicking. All the haters are furious. But yeah, dude, it scared the fuck out of me. And I was just immediately like, God damn it. I got to pay a deductible. I got to fucking take this bitch to the shop. Like, talk about something you take for granted. We should keep a running list of things you take for granted, because being healthy is number one when you're sick. Number two, not having car problems. Like when you just get in, and it's not even an issue with my actual physical car that I could do anything about. It's just a chunk of flying fucking wood in the middle of a 5-lane highway coming out of nowhere. And then I almost feel like there was this dude in front of me in a hardwood flooring truck, and I gave him the stink eye like he fucking did it, because I'm like, hardwood flooring, I just got hit by a piece of wood. What's your fucking deal? It was just one of those where that's either a big coincidence or this dude's dropping wood out of the back of his truck and it's hitting my fucking windshield. So yeah, just what the fuck, man? Why does shit like that have to happen? And now Missy's like, well, I don't want you driving around with a cracked windshield. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Fucking, I can't not drive into, yeah, let me walk down to the 45 miles to my fucking golf simulator. Like, so yeah, I'm just unnecessary life shit like that, where it's just like, life's going pretty good. Stoked for my birthday. Fucking windshield fucked right in your face. So yeah, just treat of the week for Migsy.
Fucking treat of the week. My what the fuck Wednesday has to do with this fucking crow that's in front of my house, and it's pretty annoying. He's like always there, and my trees are very big, but right now there's no leaves, so it's just like a dead no foliage, so just a dead tree. And the other day
it's not dead, you dipshit.
Well, it's dormant is a better word. It's a dormant tree currently, and I'm outside and I'm recycling, because I don't know if I've said this, but first of all, I'll start with a what the fuck. They only take my recycling every 2 weeks now instead of every week. So really annoying for me, the fact that I can't get my recycling done once a week. I have to wait every 2 weeks and do an extensive box cutting in order to all fit it in my barrel in order for them to come pick it up. So
I will say you were peak dad when you get into recycling mode. Like, you've got the razor blade out. You are literally doing origami out there to fit everything into your recycling bin. So yes. I see occasionally, like, I don't really look at you as an adult. I still don't. You're married with a child, and I still picture you as like a 12-year-old. But when you fucking get that razor blade out and you get out in the garage and really start grinding on your trash, I'm like, that's a real man there. That's a fucking that there's a dad and a husband.
So I found out, my wife told me there's a recycling place where you can just go drop it off at any point. And I was like, oh, thank God, because my garage is getting so full of all these boxes. And I'm like, I'm going to get rid of these boxes. I'm not going to wait till the next recycling. I'm going to go into the garage. I'm going to cut them all up. So I go into the garage. Me and Sawyer hanging out in the garage. Garage door's open. He's running around. He's under my truck on the driveway, crawling around, grabbing a ball because he's obsessed. And I am getting close to walking up to the side of my truck, and I feel this fucking splat on like my side of my shoulder / kind of face a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
It sounded like the crow's coming for you.
No, something's going down on the street. I'm gonna have to check that out in a minute, but that kind of freaked me out. My fucking heart's going. And anyways, so I get this splat, and I look over to my truck, and it's a fucking a bird shit. This like 4 to 5 inches around, just on the side of my truck, that fucking splattered onto me. And I look up, and that fucking crow is just sitting right above me. And I'm like, dude. And my truck's already dirty. I meant to take it to the wash today. I didn't get it done. Maybe gonna do it on Friday, but yeah, just a nasty white shit, just massive all over the side of my truck. And
they say it's good luck when a bird shits on you. So,
well,
my hillbilly instincts are kind of kicking in right now, because I'm like, go buy a BB gun. Yes,
bro. I was like, if Sawyer wasn't right here and just watching me fucking BB gun that bird down, that's all I could think about was I'm going to fucking rifle that thing out of the tree.
Who cares about Sawyer? It's your neighbors that are probably going to be all up in arms about it.
Well, I don't want to hurt it. I just want it to fly out. I want it to go to somebody else's fucking tree.
You can kill that thing. Fuck that crow.
Well, if it shits on my truck again, I'm fucking
Get
gonna
in.
consider it.
Tell it to be a real man. Come down, fight you, man. Hand to hand combat.
Get my Red Rider out. I'm gonna take its eye out with a fucking It's just a big, massive white shit, and kind of ruined my. I was just like, really?
Just a fucking hot steamer right on your truck.
Yeah, it was like dripping down. It looked like fucking
dude,
frosting on the side of a Cinnabon.
Look like a melted marshmallow on fucking on top of your truck.
Yeah, it was awful. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this. I'm going to go see who's fucking breaking into the street or my building or whatever's going down, but my heart rate's still going pretty high. We appreciate you all tuning in to Big Drive Energy on this Wednesday. Go make those picks on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Win with us. We're hot.
Daniel Berger
for the win. He's going to fucking miss the cut, and then they're going to talk about it on Full Swing next year in 2025 or 2026.
Wait to hear about it in 14 months.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you give us a thumbs up if you're watching this on the YouTube. We would appreciate it if you're listening to this audibly. I'm never going to get that right. Audibly. Give us a like on the platform. Give us a subscribe, follow, whatever they call it on there. Boomer Spencer over here fucking asking about podcast downloads and shit. Whatever. Just do whatever you need to do. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. We'll be back on Monday. Have yourself a great weekend. And hopefully we'll be back Monday, maybe even Sunday afternoon. Not Sunday afternoon because it's my anniversary weekend. I'll be out of town. But that's just for you. So when I text you about doing a Sunday show, can't do it this weekend. But hopefully
I'll be in Boston. So
oh yeah. Well, we're traveling this weekend. Hopefully watching Daniel Bergers win a tournament or Billy Horschel or maybe a little bit of Sepp Straka. Even better, Isaiah Salinda. We would appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up on your way out once again. If I haven't said it enough, I'm going to
ask one more time and everybody will do it. Say it one more time.
Nobody's probably listening at this point, so we're going to end this stream. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace.